Oh, they don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand, and one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward, and we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet, that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me. So I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that, I had to point out that the only questions that any Republican member asked of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long, repetitive deposition.
Secretary, you spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're gonna keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
It's Mia.
And tonight we have a guest on the new party. Lamb, introduce yourself and let everybody know where they can find you.
Hey, yeah. So my name is Lamb Chop. I go by Lamb Chop TV on TikTok. You guys can usually find me on Millie's panel Monday through Friday, 12 to 4 p.m., covering all the news, and usually on Enzo's in the evening, debating crazy people.
And Enzo, and Lamb's specialty is Iran. So
yeah, geopolitics.
Geopolitics. So he will be with us for the show to give us his insight. But we're going to watch the rest of the intro clip and then get everybody's reactions. In that first clip that you saw, if you've been with us the whole time, that was Hillary Clinton after her deposition in Chippewa, New York. How lovely. She didn't have to go fly to Washington, D.C. like most people do. So let's watch the rest and then we can give some reactions. Okay, wait, here it is. Sorry, my bad.
The fact that the former president, your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files, the New York Times, including in some photos featuring women. And how have you been personally preparing for the deposition that is coming tomorrow? Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light, and that he was charged and sadly given a sweetheart deal, which, as I said in my statement, had that not happened, perhaps his predatory behavior could have been stopped earlier. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
Madam Secretary, do you believe this was a fair hearing, and do you still want to testify publicly, even though you gave this deposition?
Well, I'm not going to do it again. They had a chance to do it in public, and I wish they had done it in public. And I think they're making the wrong decision, avoiding doing it in public. I thought it was very repetitive. I thought that they asked literally the same questions over and over again, which didn't seem to me to be very productive. And then, as I said, toward the end, there were other questions that were totally off subject. So if they are going to fulfill their responsibilities to literally investigate the investigations, which is what they originally said was the scope of their work, I think they could have spent the day more productively.
Madam Secretary, what was your reaction?
Madam Secretary. Can I ask, why was Colleen Maxwell invited to the daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Madam Secretary, can you tell us your reaction, please, to the photos of your husband in the hot tub in the swimming pool? messages that say that President Trump was
I
not
don't
called to
know
testify.
when the video will be out. I don't know when the transcript will be out. We've asked that they be out as quickly as possible, and then you can see.
Madam
you can
Secretary,
see
what was your
everything.
reaction
Thank
to
you.
as President Trump?
So Enzo, what was the point of the people asking her questions and the deposition asking about Pizzagate, the UFO, and things like that?
Trying to see what she'll be honest on, which is obviously nothing like usual. It's Hillary Clinton stating herself. The whole Pizzagate thing, because I mean, wasn't that like a part of like the emails and everything that got deleted? Isn't that when that all came out? So yeah, of course they're going to question her on that and her affiliation to Pizzagate, which is not a fucking conspiracy in the slightest. That has all been proven true. And the UFOs, that's a little weird though. That's I made a face about that. Like, what does that have to do with Hillary? I personally don't know. I just don't understand how her and Bill were not held in contempt and that they got the entire hearing to go to them. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is so ass backwards. Like, James Comer, they bent you over. What? Like, no, like that. This annoyed the living hell out of me. I'm happy that they testified, but not how it's going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really odd that they went to them and they didn't fly. They're millionaires. They can make their way there. This is a clip explaining when something, I guess someone leaked a photo and then they paused it. Let's watch.
From now, but the Associated Press is reporting Hillary Clinton in testimony says, and she's under oath, she has no information on Epstein's criminal activities and never recalls meeting him. Jason.
That may be true, but I think the question is, what about the money? I think what you're going to see from this, again, no allegation of necessarily breaking the law, but what about the money? I think the money trail is the primary question.
Okay, it didn't say it. Mia, what's your thoughts on the deposition today? Why did they let them? Why did it come to them versus them going to DC?
I mean, because of the Clintons. Follow the money. The Clinton Foundation controls, we're talking billions of dollars worth of assets, the connections. I mean, these people were made, like, even before they hit Washington. I mean, Hillary Clinton comes from an extremely affluent family. I mean, we're talking about connections that have been made over the last 60 years. I think this is all just for show. Nothing is going to come up of this. We know they're guilty. They know they're guilty. They'll never see a courtroom. Sex crimes never get prosecuted because there's always a statute of limitations. And Congress would never pass a nationwide legislation making it so that you could prosecute them outside the legislation because half of them would be in jail. So, I mean, this is all just like this weird pony show. I don't know why we're doing it. It's a waste of taxpayer money. Nothing's ever going to happen.
Fair enough. This is what Hillary Clinton had to say when she was asked about, you know, the connection and why they're coming after them.
Offered that. They want to pull us. Why do they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated. This is so obvious, and they keep trying to divert. Look at this shiny object. We're going to have the Clintons, even Hillary Clinton, who never met the guy. We're going to have her there. Let's focus on what's really happening here. You have an attorney general and a Justice Department attempting to hide information that should be made public.
Lamb, what's your thoughts on all of this? Why do you think that the Trump administration justice system is coming after the Clintons?
I mean, I think the Clintons have had this coming for a long time. Unfortunately, I also didn't really have a lot of high hopes due to it being the Clintons of anything productive coming out of this deposition. I think we all assumed that, you know, Hillary was going to plead the fifth her way out of this entire thing. I'm assuming Bill's going to do the same thing. I think this is a waste of time. And, like, as much as I would love for something to come out of this, I just don't see anything coming out of this.
Greg, you don't believe in conspiracy theories, or you believe in limited ones. What's your thoughts on the Pizzagate, the UFOs? Why were they asking them about that? Do you think that this is a witch hunt against the Democrats?
I think the UFO specifically is because, and I talked about this on the Man Cave when Obama in that interview said that aliens exist. I think that specifically. As far as the Pizzagate thing, I don't remember if they were talking about Hillary specifically with that, but I think that was attached to the whole IKEA furniture. Not IKEA. What's the one that they said?
You're right. Well, not IKEA. The
Talking about Wayfair?
furniture.
Wayfair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing with that. So that's probably why they was asking her about that. So those conspiracies are what hold some weight, and that's why they're asking them. Is probably some sort of distraction. Do I feel like Hillary Clinton knew? She didn't know about Monica Lewinsky, supposedly. So it's possible that Bill Clinton could have been doing what he was doing and she didn't know.
So, I mean, you really think she didn't know? You don't think she knows where the bodies are buried? You think she didn't? Do you think she didn't know about Lewinsky when Lewinsky was happening? Do you really look me in the face and say you don't believe she knew about Lewinsky when Lewinsky was happening?
As a guy, I would rather her know about Monica Lewinsky than a Diddy freak off. So I don't know. He might have said, hey, I did this, but I didn't do this, and that. I mean, dudes lie to their women all the time. And she's working, so it's possible.
Gino said it best. She knew Monica was his side piece. She had side pieces. Allegedly, I remember as a child growing up, they said that Hillary was into women just like Bill. That's what was on the headlines. I remember seeing that as a child. So, I mean, great. Come on now. Tell the truth. I know you know we got to support your Democrats. Tell the truth. But anyways, people keep saying that nothing's going to come of this. There have been firings and fallouts. Let's watch.
Fox News alert, the Epstein blast radius is expanding and more names added to the list. Larry Summers, a top operative for Clinton and Obama, today announced he's resigning from Harvard at the end of the year after getting exposed in the files. And Bill Gates is saying sorry. In a town hall at his foundation yesterday, he confessed to having 2 affairs with Russian women while married to his now very wealthy ex-wife, and admitted to flying on Epstein's plane and spending time with him in the U.S. and abroad. But he maintains he did nothing illicit. The billionaire said he met with Epstein starting in 2011, years after Epstein had pleaded guilty in 2008 to soliciting a minor for prostitution. Gates said he was aware of some 18-month thing that had limited Epstein's travel, but said he didn't properly check his background. And we're finding out U.S. Virgin Islands Democrat Governor Albert Bryan Jr. apparently gave Epstein special treatment just before his arrest, helping Epstein with a construction problem he had on Pedophile Island. The global fallout continues. Prince Andrew was first. Now his ex-wife is keeping a low profile, bouncing between properties, even checking into one of the world's most expensive wellness clinics. Reports say she maintained contact with Epstein after his release from prison and even introduced him to her goddaughter. The pressure on Andrew isn't going away. Whistleblowers now alleging he spent taxpayer money on massages. Earlier this month, Prince Andrew was kicked out of his home, the Royal Lodge, and he didn't take it too well. According to the Daily Mail, he shouted, "You can't do this to me. I'm the Queen's son." Remember, Andrew stepped back from royal duties in 2019. Why is he still living on royal property? The Times of London obtained a copy of his lease. Apparently, he hasn't paid rent in 2 decades. He's an international embarrassment. Pranksters hung the prince's arrest photo inside the Louvre in Paris. The Epstein bomb is hitting every corner of the earth. Norway's former prime minister, you know, the one who awarded Obama the Nobel Peace Prize, also known as, quote, Mr. Human Rights, was just charged with gross corruption. They're investigating if he accepted gifts, travel, and loans from Epstein. He says he's innocent, but he's in the files, telling Epstein this: if Trump wins, I'll settle on your island. And he just checked himself into a hospital due to the strain arising in the wake of this case. Maybe he could visit Fergie at that wellness hospital. Now, the British government is about to unseal more documents tied to the former ambassador to the U.S., Peter Mandelson, who was arrested in the Epstein investigation. New emails appear to show Mandelson leaking sensitive information to Epstein. He also says he's innocent, but here he is in the files in his underwear. Why do we know so little? Well, documents show that in July 2019, days after Epstein was arrested, the FBI told the NYPD's sex crimes unit to, quote, stand down. Quote, FBI reached out to NYPD leadership already, and they were told that SUV has been directed to stand down and that all Epstein stuff needs to go to and through us. This was right after Epstein was arrested, as New York prosecutors were actively trying to interview victims, build cases, look at co-conspirators. Why cut him out right then? Was that standard procedure or something else? Plus, a 2020 DOJ email refers to a confidential...
What the hell you got going in the chat, Gray? This person is weird. Only time in my... What the hell are we talking about? Are you about to go to a Diddy freak off? This is getting a little weird for me.
That's my friend from high school.
Oh,
I
don't know.
What you getting into, Gray?
I don't know. Like, that's a little weird for me. Anyways, Kimberly, do you think we're finally see some people that will be held accountable in justice for the Epstein files?
Gray's in the Epstein files. Just kidding. No, I think this is all for show. I think I would love to see the transcript. I'm willing to bet they didn't ask any questions of substance. It's this for that. We're gonna show force. We're gonna placate our MAGA base. We're gonna depose Hillary Clinton. We're gonna ask her some serious questions. I'm willing to bet that the people in that press conference asked better questions than they did at the actual deposition. Because if they were to ask real questions, it would implicate both sides. And then you see Fox News going hard at basically anybody that doesn't touch their side. So both sides are doing it kind of, at this point, it's kind of all creeping out, and you have to address it. You can't not address it, but they're going to do it a little bit here and there so that they both at least appear to their bases. Like if they're doing something when they're really not, like Mia said, we're really not going to get any accountability here. That news anchor, I forgot his name, he said that people are being held accountable all over the world, not in this country. Like, I would love to see that level of accountability here. And I would love to see all of the files released. Also, Hillary Clinton, I'm with her. Look at her. She looks so beautiful. She's so believable. She is my president, the best to ever do it. She's definitely not hiding anything. And that's a sham marriage. Their royal bloodline, it was a sham marriage. They were placed together for political benefit. They don't actually love each other. Actually, I think the only person that dislikes Hillary Clinton more than I do is Bill Clinton himself. And they're not going to ask her any like real questions because, like I said, it will implicate all of them, including Donald Trump. But yeah, what else do you want to know? I can talk about Epstein files all day long. Also, quick side note, it's really sad, all of the sex abuse, child sex abuse, and all the other grotesque Satanism, hedonism, paganism that you see in there. A small glimpse of the reality, but there's also a lot of insider training, a lot of real corruption, a lot of really dark things that are worth prosecuting with, but they're not going to because it implicates both sides.
I agree that the stuff I saw in the emails, the financial things, you were able to prosecute on that, and they refused.
100%.
You can track the money on that. Maybe
Yeah.
not the kid stuff. I mean, kid stuff is going to be hard, but the financial things I read, you can prosecute that if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but yeah, they're not going to. Just like they're not going to, like when Trump bombed Iran, they're not going to impeach and remove him for that because Democrats do that too, which they should have, but they won't. They're going to try to impeach him on some low-level side shit that they can't really get him on. But the real stuff with regards to not just the Epstein files, but in anything, They're not going to implicate each other. I wish that the working class had class solidarity like the elite do. They're all putting on a show, and Hillary Clinton, unlike Kamala Harris, who I can't even imagine her putting all those sentences together like that, is actually a very good orator. She's effective, and she comes off as believable. She's full of shit. She's one of the worst
Bill is
people.
a big time talker.
Well, you know, I knew it was fake when Lauren Brobart took a picture and sent it to Benny Johnson, and they had to halt the
Can you show
entire
my
thing.
screen?
Like,
Yeah,
I know
this
it
is
was
one of the
fake.
photos that came out.
What
this came
is
out of the
that?
deposition today.
Jesus Christ.
But you know what I mean? Like, I knew it was fake then. Because if it was real and they really wanted the information and they really planned on prosecuting people, everybody would have taken it serious. And that something as minor as that would not have happened.
Right.
Can I just say the best part of that entire thing, by the way? I don't know if y'all have seen it. Did y'all see Benny's tweet and Lauren's tweet after that entire thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it now. The real picture that came out of her. I'm gonna play it now, and then I'm gonna let Kamal be the last person to go on this. Here we go.
I had to show the fake one. Sorry.
Reps
guys.
as Hillary Clinton halts her Epstein testimony after MAGA lawmaker took photo of closed door deposition. Oh, they're mad at Benny Johnson. Boebert did it. Oh, Benny Johnson just got the photo. I love Boebert. She sends me messages all the time asking questions about stuff. A bunch of them do. I love these Congress people. I have like 20 Congress people send me messages all the time. What is this true? Can you send me that? And I'm busy and I don't send. They're like, hey, send me all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. I need like 5 staff members that are great researchers. They're all great, like Thomas Siska, who can just supply Congress with all the stuff they want. I'm not bragging. I'm just seeing Boebert. Go back to that headline. Who are they blaming? Because they're saying it's Boebert. Chaos Representative Hillary Clinton halts her Epstein testimony after MAGA lawmaker took photo of closed door deposition. Yeah, Boebert. Oh my God.
So, what do you think about that leak, Kamal?
The leak, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really interested in the fucking leak. I'm interested in Hillary Clinton knowing that Bill Clinton was getting head. We know that woman knew that Bill Clinton would get the sloppy top. Stop it, Gray. Goddamn Hillary Clinton knew about that. You feel me? But what's up to everybody on the panel, you feel me? And what's up, Lamb Chop? I came in a little late. You know, I had a work meeting and stuff like that. That was very interesting, but it's coming from Alex Jones, and I can't trust that motherfucker. I'm telling y'all right now, whatever he say, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You feel me? You know what happened with him and Sandy Hooks. Just saying. But yeah, can I get the Bill Gates real quick? Bray out here was like, I wasn't on the island, but I gave them 2 Russian bras my Microsoft. At the end of the day, yeah. Nah, he was like, hey, I wasn't on that island with kids, but I was still cheating and shit. It's like, man, y'all always on the goddamn island, bro. All of them was on the island. Every last one of them. Yet Microsoft, all in it. All pun intended. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired of hearing this Epstein file shit, man. Can we just get the files goddamn out? I'm tired of hearing this horse shit. God damn. Like, every time with the Epstein files is somebody else name on the list. Somebody else name on the list. Look, man, we know that damn near everybody that got hella money like that was on that damn island. All right? I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm ready to listen to something else at this point. You feel me? Let's talk about Candace Owens a little bit more and how she you feel me? She came for goddamn Charlie Kirk. You feel me? And we know. I think Charlie Kirk was allegedly clapping them cheeks, man. Because every time she see Erica Kirk, she got that side eye and she be talking a lot of shit.
Well, we'll be talking about it next week on the Man Cave Show Wednesday night. So come back for that. But we are going to get into something closely. We're going to talk about Tucker Carlson, okay? Tucker Carlson claims Israel sees Trump era as last chance for U.S.-Iran war. Before we get into it, though, I do want to stay on the Clintons for a second. Bill had to put his 2 cents. Let's hear what Bill had to say.
Mr. Netanyahu has long wanted to fight Iran because that way he can stay in office forever and ever. I mean, he's been there most of the last 20 years. But I think we should be trying to diffuse it. And I hope President Trump will do that. I hope anybody there will do that. We've got to stop. We got to convince our friends in the Middle East that we'll stand with them and try to protect them. But choosing undeclared wars in which the primary victims are civilians who are not politically involved one way or the other, just want to live decent lives, is not a very good solution. Do I think that we have to try to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon? I do. I tried at that, and we had some success. But we don't have to have all this outright, constant killing of civilians who can't defend themselves, and they just want a chance to live.
Man, where Monica Lewinsky at? Give him some head or something. Get some life in Bill Clinton. This nigga look almost dead.
She gave a really good TED talk like 12 years ago. It's called The Price of Shame. I highly recommend it.
Well, she's a Israeli honeypot. She's a Jew.
Oh, I didn't know.
As funny as that is,
she gave a really good TED talk about like shaming women. It was really motivational. I liked it. I didn't know that. They're everywhere. Just kidding.
Mia, what's your thoughts on what he said? He said the reason why, pretty much he's alluding to the motivation for all of this is so Netanyahu can stay in power. Do you agree, disagree? What's your thoughts?
I mean, Bibi Netanyahu has been saying since like 1991 that there's this.
I got that clip too.
You know, of like since 1991, there's this like massive like third world that's gonna happen, and blah 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 blah, and I'm a godly person, blah blah blah, and I deserve to be here, blah 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 blah, and everybody's gonna get nuclear weapons and kill me, blah blah. Dude, I've been fucking hearing it for like 40 years. Okay, at this point in time, I want it to happen. I'm so sick and tired of hearing it. I want it to fucking happen at this point in time. Because the man has done nothing but come to the United States every 5 years and say the same thing over and over and over again. It's like the boy that cried wolf. I've never seen anything like it. He's been saying the same thing since 1991, and it still has not manifested yet. I don't know if he's not praying hard enough. I don't know what God he prays to, but I don't know. It's just crazy. I'm tired of hearing the same thing from these decrepit old men. It's the same thing.
I got the clip before we go into it because Mia, that is I'll let you react to it, Mia, but pretty much what Mia's saying is that they're saying for the last 40 years that Israel has been predicting that Iran is a week away, days away. Let's watch.
Stopped. Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons. Next thing you'll see is a nuclear bomb in the World Trade Center. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
You know what's crazy is nobody ever thought. So the day that the Muslims get access to a nuclear weapon is literally because they're going to be the prime minister of Britain before anything else. And people don't want to talk about that. The simple fact that Muslims have invaded Europe, and if they get access to a nuclear weapon, it's legitimately going to be because they are getting it from Europeans at this point in time through immigration. I mean, he's been saying it since 1995. And I mean, at this point in time, the odds of a Muslim getting access to a nuclear weapon because they were lawfully elected in Britain is extremely high.
Kimberly, I see you shaking your head. What's your thoughts?
I think that when countries look at how the United States operates with geopolitics, they ask themselves the same question that North Korea asked themselves, and they say the only way that the US won't fuck with us if we do have a nuclear weapon. So, I mean, we're kind of forcing that reality, not just with Iran, but other countries. And we're friends with big bad guys all over the world. And Israel has nuclear weapons. So, also, we shouldn't talk about Muslim people like that because, you know, they're our brothers and sisters in Christ.
Oh, well, according to these people, they're not.
Those
You know,
motherfuckers would stone me in a heartbeat. I'm sorry. No offense to them, but they would stone me in a heartbeat, which is fine. If that's their prerogative,
That's total
their
bullshit.
prerogative.
That's total bullshit.
I think there's
Only
extreme factions
the
of
extremists, right? The extremists. Sorry, Kimberly, go ahead.
there's extreme factions of every religion, including in Judaism, the Zionist Christians, the extreme Islam people, like Muslim people. But I mean, that's in every religion or every organization, really.
Yeah.
Don't get me
so-
started on the Vatican.
I mean, anyways, I'm gonna play this next clip, and this is what they're saying about the buildup in the Middle East right now.
Shannon, good morning. Protests erupted this weekend at Iranian universities for the first time since the regime crackdown earlier this year. Students chanted "Long live the King" and freedom as they marched through their campuses. Saturday marked their return to a new semester and renewed demonstrations against the government. In the capital of Tehran, Iran's president did not address the protests directly, but spoke broadly about the ongoing international pressure against Iran.
We will not bow down in the face of any of these difficulties. World powers are lining up with cowardice to force us to bow our heads. Just as you did not bow in the face of difficulties, we will not bow down in the face of these problems.
Iranian officials told Reuters that indirect talks between the U.S. and Iran are set to resume in early March, but that views differ over the scope and mechanism for sanctions relief. The comments come amid an ongoing military buildup in the Middle East that continues at this hour. Overnight, more C-17 transport planes traveled across the Atlantic Ocean, and reports indicate at a single Jordanian airbase there are now 60 attacked aircraft and 68 cargo planes. With the region on the brink of war, a UN spokesperson is calling for diplomatic efforts to prevail.
And I can tell you and reiterate yet again that we are very concerned about the heightened rhetoric we're seeing around the region, by the heightened military activities, war games, or just military, increased military naval presence and in the region. And we encourage both the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran to continue to engage in diplomacy in order to settle the differences.
Here in Israel, people are bracing for conflict to begin any day. Tonight, the Israeli Security Cabinet will meet to determine what comes next. Shannon?
All right, Trey Yings, thank you very much.
I'm Steve.
All right, Lamb, lay it on us. Tell me how we're days away. Give me proof. Don't give me Netanyahu talking points.
I don't think we should attack them due to Israel. I think we should attack them due to the simple fact that since 2020 there has been over 200 attacks on U.S. military service people regarding Iranian proxies. Take Israel, put them on a shelf. I don't care about Israel. What I care about is that Iran is the #1 state sponsor of terrorism. Iran literally came as close to putting and backing a Hezbollah, essentially a Hezbollah basic training camp 600 miles off the coast of America, as well as hosting their own drone program in Venezuela. They're getting closer and closer. This has nothing to do. I don't care about Israel. What I care about is that they continuously, through proxies, attack our service people. Iran is their entire existence is to wipe us out. We have 26 military bases. And that's just public knowledge that is within Iran's current strike capabilities. That's not counting. That's not counting like what we don't know. That's not counting CIA stuff. That's counting straight military bases. Okay, listen. If it was up to me, I would want, if we can get 100% confirmation from our intelligence assets that we can grab the Ayatollah. I would want to black bag the Ayatollah. But what also
you want to
came,
do like what happened in Venezuela versus
yeah, I want to grab
Okay.
grab the Ayatollah. But if we can, I don't even think we really need to step foot onto Iranian soil to collapse that regime. We have enough air power, and it just came out today. Where did I put it? It just came out today that we have our brand new Lucas kamikaze drones available for use. We technically don't even need to send a life out there. But the other thing is again, we have so many military assets within their strike capabilities that any retaliation, we're going to have to be ready. And that's what this is.
Kamal, I see your mind going. I'm going to play this clip and then I'll let you respond. This is what Tucker Carlson is saying. This is his concerns. Let's watch.
Verge of a massive regional war in the Middle East, if not a third world war. The largest movement of American military hardware since 2003, the Iraq invasion, is now in or steaming toward the Persian Gulf off Iran. There are a lot of reasons not to do this. The first being most Americans don't want it. Trump cares about what people think, and he's willing to listen to almost anybody. So why would he even be considering a war with Iran? Well, one way to think about it is the United States may not have a choice about whether or not this war starts, because of course the government of Benjamin Netanyahu could always act unilaterally, preemptively against Iran. Just strike Iran. What would happen then? Well, most likely the Iranians would strike Israel, and then potentially strike American assets in the Gulf, and then potentially strike energy facilities in the Gulf. And the United States would be, by definition, drawn in. So it's possible that the US government is trying to find a way to contain the behavior of its closest ally, Israel. It's possible.
Okay, so there is a huge military buildup, Kamal, before you respond. We've sent ships. We've moved all of our, majority of our ships are on their way to Middle East. So it's not a matter of if, but possibly when this happens. Do you think, as an American citizen, do you want us to go to war with Iran based on what you heard from Lamb, based on what Tucker said? What's your thoughts?
I hate to say it. I gotta agree with Paleface Tucker Carlson. God damn. And I personally, I don't want us to go to war because we know people on this fucking panel that got kids that would be sent to that fucking war. I don't want us to go to war. You feel me? I know it'll make my gas prices go down and all that shit, but F that. I know people on this panel that have kids that are in the age where they will be sent to fucking war. These niggas ain't gonna be throwing hands. Not in Yahoo and Donald Trump and the rest of them motherfuckers. I would love to see them throw hands. That'd be funny. That'd be very entertaining. But they ain't about to do that shit.
You think he's going to send Barron? You know, when we're sending our American boys, will Barron be going? Like, that's the question. Will Barron be forced to go? Because we don't have high military presence. We're in the negative as far as recruitment going. They're not going to tell you that. We've had a recruitment problem for years. I have insider knowledge on that. For years. So is Barron going to go? Those are the questions I want to know, because we don't have the numbers for it. What's your thoughts, Kamal? I mean, you bring up a good point.
First, you're gonna have to tell me what the hell is Barron. I don't know what.
Donald Trump's baby boy. He's 21.
Hell no, they're not gonna send Berber over there. Hell no, they're gonna send what Lamb Chop said, them kamikaze drones. When they start making them shits.
So this is the thing. We've been doing a buildup of, so we have 4 major autonomous contracts, right? We have one with Lucas, we have one with Saronic, we have one with Blue Alpha, and then we had the big one with Anduril. Anduril has been spinning up essentially autonomous fighter jets for months now. This is the other thing. This Iran war is also bigger than just what this is. We all know in 2027, this has been made well public by intel officials. It literally just came out today that actually they had a meeting back in 2023 with Apple and Tim Cook saying that China has capability to invade Taiwan.
I heard of that.
Iran has been using the same thing with Venezuela, using dark fleets to get military equipment from China. That is why they were able to rebuild so fast. Matter of fact, when we interdicted one of these oil tankers at the beginning of December, we caught them smuggling military documents and military equipment from China to Iran to rebuild their nuclear and their intercontinental ballistic missile program. So anything that we do to Iran is going to greatly affect China.
I mean, the reality is if we do go, gas is going to go up. It's not a matter of if,
Yeah.
it's a matter of when it goes up. The reason why China doesn't want this is it's going to also go up on their part. They have a big, the strait, you probably can explain it better, Lamb, but the strait is going to affect China just as much. So there's an interest on that part. And to your point, you know, you bring up China, but also this is what Tucker Carlson is saying about why he's connecting it to Israel. I don't think it's all about Israel, though, to your point. There are other reasons, but this is what he had to say.
Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support. Period. You can't primary every Thomas Massie, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you can shut down X, and you can just shut down the internet. You can be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest Israel, but attitudes are not going to revert to what they were 5 years ago. Sorry. And they know this. So this is their last chance. What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media, whose job it is to tell you the truth and inform you as to what's happening, to tell you, hey, wake up. The world could be changing, and it's going to affect you.
Hold on. Can I ask a question real quick for the whole panel? Who is for the war and who is not for the war?
That's a good point. All right, let's go around. Lamb, yes or no?
I am for the war as long as we can keep boots off the ground, unless.
But that's not what's going to happen. That's why they
Yeah.
send the ships over there with bodies on it.
Yes,
Let's
I
be
know.
real. So yes or no?
I am for the war. Yes.
All right, great. Yes or no? As someone who's actually seen combat, served in Iraq, came back, yes or no?
No, and I still have friends that are active, so definitely no.
No. So one yes, one no. Enzo, yes or no?
All for regime annihilation.
So two yeses. Mia.
No, the United States can't afford it. People aren't even buying our treasury bonds anymore. We're broke. We can't afford it. Even if we did go to war, we can't do another Afghanistan, Iraq. We can't take on all of the Middle East. We do not have the financial resources anymore. The capitalists have plundered it, so we can't afford it.
Okay, two yes, two no. Kamal, yes or no?
No.
Three no's. Kim.
Fuck no.
Four no's. Five. The fifth no. Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't want to go die. I don't want my boys going over to die for no damn Israel, because that's really the reality. This doesn't hurt us. I don't give a damn about this. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's all for Israel, but that's who's immediately in threat. That's our greatest ally. That's who's at the center of this. Iran wouldn't have no damn problem with us if it wasn't for us being tied to those people. I'm sorry. That's the reality. Fuck no. That's my answer. Fuck no. Fuck that shit. Fuck no.
So I have a question. So if we were to do this, my number one question is who is going to pay for it, right? Who's going to pay for it? Because we don't have the money. I mean, you got to think too. So we've been giving money to Israel. We continue to give them money, weapons, and so on and so forth, which obviously we make the weapons here. You know what I mean? But also Ukraine, plus all of our other military installations we have to pay for, plus, you know, all the benefits, all the VA. I mean, basically everything we already continuously have to pay for. I mean, so who's going to pay for this? We're almost $40 trillion in debt. It is a statistic. It is a fact that foreigners are no longer buying our treasury bonds, which means they do not believe we have the capabilities of paying our debts anymore. We're so close to defaulting. The tariffs got reversed. So, I mean, who ideally is going to pay for what could potentially be a long-term presence in a war with Iran.
We are the American middle class, modern day.
But we
serf.
don't have no money. That's the problem, is we don't have the money. So if they keep reprinting and doing this quantitative easing, I mean, we don't have the money. Our money is worth so little now compared to what it was 50 years ago, compared to what it was 30 years ago. It's not like the dollar is appreciating, it's actually depreciated for the last 25 years exponentially. The average rent in the United States is over $2,000. The average mortgage is $3,000. The average home cost is in between $400,000 and $500,000, and the average wage in the United States is $63,000, which tells us that nobody can afford to eat, nobody can afford a home, nobody can afford anything. Literally, that's the statistics. That's the fact. That is the fact that we live in. So, who on this panel that said yes can tell me how the United States is going to pay for a war with Iran? And if you think for a second that our enemies, such as Russia and China, aren't going to jump in as well,
China's not going to get involved.
you'd be surprised. Sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I'm going to tell you why China's not going to get involved, because China's entire Super Bowl, China's end game, their entire reason for their existence for the last 15 years is to invade and take over Taiwan, which that line has been set at 2027. We're going to war in this administration, whether people like it or not, whether it's with Iran or it's with China. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We're going to war. We're going to war regardless.
We unfortunately, I do believe we are inching towards that, but Iran ain't who we should be messing with, man. I'm telling you, this ain't what you want. This ain't Venezuela. This ain't Mexico. This ain't Cuba. This ain't what I want. This ain't what my son, who's 3 years old, who, if we go to war, I believe in 15 years it'll still be going on. That's not what I want.
We shouldn't just not go to war with Iran. We should not go to war with anybody. The biggest sponsor of terrorism on the face of this earth is the United States government.
Well, let's get into that, because this is another thing Tucker Carlson speaks to. This is his interview with Mike Huckabee this week. This is what they talked about.
Millions of Epstein files still classified.
That's not the one I want to play. I don't care about the Epstein files. Sorry, 1 second. Well, I do care, but that's not what I wanted to play.
Millions.
Whoops. Here we go.
Million.
Sorry. Hold on.
Yield to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram. It's pre-Abraham. It's Abram. Receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
Okay, Enzo, some people say the reason why we're doing this is support Israel and their greater Israel and their greater Israel project. Do you agree or disagree with that, and why?
100% I disagree. I'm going to go back to what I was saying before Operation Midnight Hammer took place. This is a rogue nation that has capabilities of building a nuclear or having nuclear capabilities. As per declassified information that has come out after we took out Soleimani, they created a dirty bomb and hit our base in the region. This is what I was saying before. I said that this is a rogue nation, and you're going to have terrorists get hands on nuclear material and create dirty bombs, and that's exactly what the IRGC did. I agree with every single president dating back to Clinton that Iran should have no nuclear capabilities whatsoever. And as we see with these talks that have failed 3 times now, they're not willing to give up their ICBM program. They're not willing to give up their nuclear ambitions. I'm all for using the might of the military complex that we have in America and bombing them back to the Stone Age and not doing a regime change. I don't agree with a regime change. I agree with a regime annihilation. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree with that, where we just use the might of the military. We have a third of our Navy and a third of our Air Force over there stationed in the Middle East right now. I personally don't think it's going to turn into an all-out warfare on the ground because of the capabilities that we have over there. They're nothing compared to the United States. This is not going to be a 2003 invasion and occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan and going after every single country in the Middle East like we did in the early 2000s. Our technology is far superior than what we had then. If we had the capabilities that we had now, I guarantee that 20-year war probably would have went differently. But then again, I'm still going to blame the Democrats for continuing that 20-year war when the war was basically over with Bush, and they were doing a drawdown, and then you had Obama come in and put 12,000 more troops within his first year. That's why we had a 20-year war.
Do we share our technology with Israel?
No.
So you think our technology is better than Israel? Because I'm
100%.
getting to a point. The reason why I say that is Israel supposedly has all this advanced technology, and they flattened Gaza. Gaza is stone and rubble. So is that what you want Iran to look like? It's okay if you do. I'm just trying to I'm trying to picture what
I want the
you're saying
regime.
about
I want the
annihilation looks
regime
like.
gone. I want the regime. The people, no, because the people, as you see, 30,000 of them have been slaughtered by their own regime. 30,000 of them nobody's talking about. 30,000 people that were literally just killed because they want that regime out. The same way that the Venezuelans wanted Maduro out. So no, I want the regime that is in power to be annihilated back to the fucking Stone Age, and they never have any capabilities whatsoever, and something new rises from that and actually brings a little bit of stability to the country instead of what they're doing to their people over there and what they're doing to American troops that they've been doing to American troops in the region for years now. They've been threatening us for years now. They've been funding the Houthis, which we've been indirectly fighting with Iran, fighting the Houthis now going on 7 years. Like it's just about time. And listen, it's Donald Trump. He's not doing a military buildup of nothing's going to fucking happen. It's going to go down. It's not an if, it's a when at this point. And I'm all for, like I said, a regime annihilation. And if it turns into an all-out war that keeps going and going and going on like another 20-year war, then I'll sit here and say I was wrong and that was the wrong thing to think. But the way that I'm seeing this with the president we have, it's not going to turn into that, like how we didn't go in there during Christmas like everybody thought we were going to as well.
Gray, I'm going to play this clip and then I'm going to get you in here, someone that's actually seen war. Let's see what this rabbi said to Mike Huckabee when talking about what they're prepared for if we do go next steps with Iran.
Spent 2 days here now, and almost everyone we've met with across the spectrum within the Jewish community, that's where we've been meeting, none of them have expressed any fear about going into bomb shelters or ballistic missiles from Iran. Every one of them universally has said to us, you must be excited to be here. You're going to have a front row seat to the miracles that are about to happen.
Yeah.
And you speak about the resilience of the Israeli people and what they've been through for 2 years. They're not in fear. At least those who we've met with across the spectrum have all expressed this faith and almost, I don't want to describe excitement, but they've had a front row seat to miracles for 2 years, and they feel like they're about to see the next chapter of it. And they ask you, aren't you excited to be here for it? You must feel so grateful. You're going to see the redemption come before you. Is that your experience too with the way that Israelis are approaching this potential of having to be in bomb? Even as we sit here right now, you know, we don't. I'm sure you would have canceled if there were greater concern. That gives us a little comfort in the moment at least. But in this country, you have to know your whereabouts all the time. Where's the closest shelter? When might a siren go off? Is that part of the consciousness, your experience, even as you're approaching these coming hours or days or whatever might happen next?
It's always amazing to me that Israelis don't have this fear of what could happen. They don't curl up in a fetal position and crawl up under their bed and refuse to get out and go anywhere each day. They live their lives. They live it to the fullest. I was here September of 24. I was here to tape some television footage for my television show. And I was having lunch in Tel Aviv with a friend of mine, and all of a sudden the Iron Dome, the siren goes off, and the Iron Dome intercepts a rocket from Gaza right above our heads. You can hear it and see it. Everybody goes to the shelter. I was amazed. Nobody was rushing. Nobody was pushing or shoving, but everyone methodically, no one ignored it, but everyone went down, got in the shelter, which was in the basement of the restaurant, stood there, chatted. When the all clear came, everybody just methodically got up and went back and finished their now cold lunch. And it was almost, and I was just thinking, had this happened in America? I mean, people would have been screaming and yelling and, calling, I don't think I'm going to make it. And all of these moments, it would have been totally different. It is amazing to see, again, that goes to the resilience of the people here. I won't say that I'm excited about the whole process. I told the president when I was back with he and the prime minister for the meetings 2 weeks ago, I said, Mr. President, I hope that some peace agreement can be made. I'm not optimistic that it.
So, Gray, are you excited to have to go to bomb shelters? Because this is the reality. If we go and invade Iran, there are maps of saying where they think the bombs could potentially land. And a preview, majority of America is in the threat. They're also friends with Cuba. They're also friends with all sorts of places in the Caribbean. They're not going to tell you that part. So are you excited about the prospect of sending our boys to war, having to go to a bomb shelter? Is it exciting? Because they're excited. So I want to know if your excitement, as somebody that's actually seen war, seen combat, seen people get blown up, are you excited?
Of course, I'm not excited, and I will speak for the service members that are just trying to do it as a career, because yes, they sign a contract, yes, they sign up for this, but we tell these people, thank you for your service. Like, when these people deploy, they leave their families, they're taking a risk. Yes, they are trying to protect America, but they should be looked at as human beings, and we should care about their well-being. As far as everything that he said with Israel and the bombs and all of that, it was the same thing in Iraq. I was definitely desensitized to bombs, to bullets. And even over there, a lot of people don't notice soldiers do stuff to each other. So, like, it's all types of crimes and things that come with deploying places that happen internally. So it's a much bigger picture I think people should look at when we're looking at military personnel.
So why did you say no? Why do you think we shouldn't go to Iran or have a war with Iran, despite the, what was your rationale?
For me, regime changes don't work. America has shown that regime changes don't work, and then we put someone else in there, then it completely falls apart. The only thing that I think soldiers would be happy about is they get the additional money. They get hazard pay. So you go over there, your pay is going to double. And so people risk their lives for that money. Sometimes they don't come back. Sometimes they lose a limb, or they lose their mind. So it's a big risk.
Is it worth the risk? I mean, I guess that's the question we're going to answer tonight. Is it worth the risk? Because we, looks like we're going that way. Let's see what this clip says about the Iran assessment.
But I'll tell a story.
Go ahead.
So Doc is on this podcast. So it was a guy Doc was watching, like he was like security. We call him Doc because he's a medic, right? So the guy shoots like a rocket launcher to the guy that Doc is with. It goes through his like face, and then like they pulling him out, and then they like begging Doc to save him, like save him, Doc, save him, save him. So crazy stuff happens over there.
Did you see anything like that?
I worked in the headquarters. I've seen stuff, but I worked with the top people because I was IT. So I was, precious personnel. But I didn't have to do everything that they did, but I was out there.
Well, Doc has told us before. I don't know if it's on your panel, Nora, but I think it might have been on the Man Cave. He's talked about his experiences of seeing people blown up in pieces, having to put them in bags and take them back. It's always people that want war that don't serve. I have yet to see a military man who's been or woman who have served, who have seen, who've had to put pieces of people in a bag to take back to base with them that are like, let's go to war. It's always people that have never served, not capable of serving, will not serve. And if their name is called, probably have some sort of potential disability that's going to alleviate them from not serving. It's always those people, because a rational person looks at war and is like, we should do everything humanly capable of not doing this. It's only the people that aren't going to go there that seem to be so gung-ho about it. And, and that's just how I feel. Like, I have yet to meet somebody who has put pieces in a body bag saying, let's go back. I want to go back.
Lamb, are you signing up when we go to war with Iran? Because you said yes. So
I tried. I tried when I was 18. I couldn't.
Okay, you can't. Enzo, will you be signing up when you voted yes for us to go to war with Iran?
No, I don't think that I should have to go to war just because I agree that the United States, for the interest of the American people, should go to war with Iran to protect our interest. I don't think that I should have to because I advocate for that. No, I think it's, I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Okay, so he said no.
An extension of that too, even veterans like Tulsi Gabbard, who are like against boots on the ground, but they'll argue for like drone warfare. We're still killing other innocent people. During the Obama drone warfare, I think it was 90%. That's disgusting. 90% unintended targets and 10% people murdered without trial. So
yeah, because Obama was just literally just killing everybody and anybody.
I mean, I'm
going to the American citizens that Obama killed.
I'm
care about
say,
those more.
I'm going to say respectfully, I don't think anybody in the IRGC is innocent. If you've watched those videos, nobody in the IRGC is innocent. If you've watched videos of the people of the IRGC going into the hospitals and finding any survivors and then unaliving them, I don't think anybody in that entire regime is innocent.
Are you including children too? Because they say the same thing about the people living in Gaza. And thousands of children have been unalived by the technology that Israel has.
Children are absolutely innocent. And I think what happened in Gaza is absolute catastrophe. But what I'm saying is the military age individuals that are doing what they just did in Tehran and going and unaliving people in the hospital, or hopping in the back of pickup trucks and hopping on mounted LMGs and unaliving people on the streets, those people are not innocent.
Okay. I get it. So you're for taking them out. All right, let's this clip is talking about Trump and this general, what he had to say.
Trump is trying to figure out his next steps with Iran, but a new report suggests some members of his own team are worried about sparking a full-out war in the region.
Stephanie Bennett joins us live now from London with the latest. Stephanie.
Good morning. Yeah, President Donald Trump's top general is highlighting the potential risks with striking Iran. Now, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane has warned it could lead to the possibility of a prolonged conflict in the region. It comes after the president said last week that if no deal is reached over Iran's nuclear program within the next 10 days, he could take military action. Now, according to that Axios report, they wrote, quote, while Kane was all in on the Venezuela operation, he has been more cautious in
You're muted. You're muted.
I don't know what's going on with the clips lately. I'm sorry. But Lamb, what's your thoughts? Are we prepared? Because this general was saying that he doesn't think we are.
I mean, listen, I personally don't think that we are good. I don't think this is going to be like a multi-year thing. I think at most this is going to be like a 3 to 4 month thing. I think the only reason that we have as many assets over there as we do is due to what happened after the Soleimani thing, and even in the last few years, right? Because after we did Soleimani, they attacked, I believe it was Al Adid, where there was over 100 traumatic brain injuries. I think it is a security chip for those 26 military assets in that region. I think feasibly we could probably get this done with one strike group, but I think the extra two are just to say, fuck around and find out if you want to retaliate.
Yeah, well, this is what JD Vance said. The reason why he says this about nukes. Let's watch.
Very simple. I think most Americans understand that you can't let the craziest and worst regime in the world have nuclear weapons. That's what the president is accomplishing. That's what the president has set as our goal. He's going to try to accomplish it diplomatically. But as we all know, Bill, the president has a number of other tools at his disposal to ensure this doesn't happen. He's shown a willingness to use them. And I hope the Iranians take it seriously in their negotiations tomorrow, because that's certainly what the president prefers.
Kamal, you've been really quiet. Do you think it's about nukes? After everything you've heard, they're attacking our bases. What's your thoughts? Have you changed your position based on everything you've heard?
No, I haven't changed my position, but we might need to call Dr. Evil, because didn't that nigga know where the nukes were and shit? God damn, people been talking about the nukes for years. Like, everybody's, they about to create some nukes. They gonna create some nukes. Who done created the fucking nukes? We got social media now. Somebody most definitely would spill the beans at this point, right? God damn. I'm just saying.
You know what I think we should do? We should get Candace Owens on the case.
Uh-oh.
She'll figure out who got the nukes, where the nukes are, who did the nukes, how they created them. She'll find the nukes.
The creator of the nukes, who slept with, all types of shit.
I bet you if it was transgender people making these nukes, then all my conservative friends would be like for full denuclearization, like me. Not non-proliferation, but denuclearization.
Let me make something clear. I am absolutely for diplomacy, right? I listen. If this works out and Iran comes back on Monday and we sign a deal, I'm for it. Same thing with Venezuela. Venezuela, we gave them 14 peace agreements, and the last time Maduro had enough balls to come back and ask for fucking global amnesty and an extra like $355 million for he and his cabinet. Oh, and by the way, he wanted to retain the entire military power. So I'm all for diplomacy, but unfortunately with some of these people, they refuse to even come to the table.
Well, Trump made a promise. I'm going to have Kim go next. Kim's been so patient. Kim, I want you to think, get your notes ready.
I love Trump.
This is what Trump had to say when he first ran.
Okay, I love
Iraq,
Trump.
we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it? You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied. Okay. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
Okay, Trump was fired up, Kimberly. He said we destabilized the Middle East. There were no weapons of mass destruction. Are we about to see a repeat of Iraq 2.0, this time with Donald Trump as the president?
Right. And they're doing the same thing with Iran. At first they said they're going to build nuclear weapons and they're going to start building nuclear weapons. And then JD Vance, my homie right there, he keeps moving the goalposts. He said now it's about missiles, right? So at least they're trying to lie to us, right? Again, like they did with weapons of mass destruction, and people will eat it up. Whatever they feed you that feeds your narrative, you're going to eat that up. But yeah, war is bad. War is always bad. When it comes to Iran, it's very sad because there was an actual democracy up until 1953 when the United States government with Britain, they couped that government because they had nationalized the oil, and we don't want that. Same thing with Libya, right? Gaddafi wanted an African currency. We don't want that. We want U.S. hegemony. Right makes might. The problem with U.S. hegemony is that it comes at a cost. We kill millions of people all over the world. The United States government is the largest sponsor of terror in the world, not just by force, but also economic sanctions. Because I sent you guys that Lancet study. I'm sure you guys read everything I send you, but last year they did a study that said that from 1970 up until 2024, with economic sanctions alone, just the US and Britain, we've killed over 38 million people. So we do all of this because war is profitable. And my friend is mistaken here. It's not going to be quick. And we're not done with Venezuela. The thing with violence is that it's profitable, but the only way that it's profitable is if it's continuous. Bush, even if Obama wouldn't have won, the Republicans wouldn't have stopped the war. Obama did continue the wars. He took us from two wars to 7 wars. And I'll talk shit about Obama all day, every day, but both parties do that. That's why last year when Trump bombed Iran, he should have been impeached and removed for that. The Democrats aren't going to do that. They're going to go after some other dumb little things that they can't get him on, because if they were to hold him accountable for what he did to Iran last year, then that would implicate them as well. But war is profitable, and that's the problem. I think that, at least for me, I see it from like 2 lenses, right? Like, I'm American and I'm also Mexican. So when I go to Mexico, everybody outside of America looks at America from a different lens and a different point of view. And people will tell you this. A lot of other countries don't like Americans because the majority of Americans will eat up this propaganda. They'll believe it. We think we're we think we're number one. We think China's not our enemy. We have a trade agreement with them. They bought off a lot of our debt after the 2008 recession. We would have gone into a depression if it wasn't for them. Thank you, China. Iran isn't our enemy. They have shown so much restraint. The leader himself will go on TV and he'll say, I don't want a war. But Israel keeps instigating. At some point, you're strong-arming them into a response. Same thing with Venezuela. And I'm not defending Maduro. I'm not defending Hezbollah. I'm not defending Hamas. I'm not defending the Ayatollah. I'm not defending any of these democracies. But we pick our friends depending on who helps us. We're friends with Saudi Arabia. Kiss my ass. Saudi Arabia is not a fucking democracy. We're not like a beacon of democracy, spreading democracy and peace. We're not benevolent. We have interests, and the American interests are to keep those weapons manufacturers rich, to keep all of the violence rich. We won't legalize drugs. We'll criminalize drugs to keep all of our private prison systems and all of those money-making machines, weapons manufacturers, and everything that has to do with crime and drugs and violence and war. It's all profitable, and all these people are making a lot of money off of us. It's completely illogical, and it's immoral, by the way, when we just look at it from a financial point of view, which also doesn't make sense. But I appreciate, like, when my libertarian friends or my conservative friends make the financial case for it, it's also immoral. We can't be going around and killing people, innocent or not, all over the world. That's why we have all these enemies, and we create all these enemies all over the world.
Well, I'm gonna get Enzo in here next.
Also, I'm sure we all here believe in one China.
This is what Tucker had to say.
Nora, do you have the Chuck Schumer clip by chance?
Zionism, whatever that is. So people have been kind of like, they don't want to have that fight, so they've just sort of let this fester. And then there's the other factor, which is physical fear, because Israel is so violent and is constantly bragging about murdering people and blowing up kids with pagers or leveling Gaza. I mean, this is the most violent country in the world by far per capita. So there is a feeling that, like, whoa, if you criticize them too much, they could hurt you. And I get that. I'm not criticizing anyone who's afraid, because there's a reason to be afraid. However, we've gotten to a place where we're potentially going to, like, wreck our economy, and Americans will die because one guy, Benjamin Netanyahu, thinks it's a good idea or good for his political career or whatever. Like, that is truly bonkers. Like, why are we allowing this?
It's going to be devastating. Speaking of Vox Media, 6 years ago, they wrote a piece after Soleimani was killed.
Yep.
That if we go to war with Iran, it will not be a walk in the park. It will be a brutal, bloody war, and it will be their quote, hell on earth. Hell on earth. And that's just there. Every military expert I've talked to says, we have no strategy.
Does the clip have to do with this, what I just played? Is it about the war?
Yeah, it's about the war.
All right,
this
I'm gonna
is them
play it
after
real
the
quick.
Gang of Eight meeting.
This is serious, and the administration has to make its case to the American people.
What did you hear?
So I want to point something out. This man goes into a Gang of 8 meeting. He takes every chance that he can get to shit on Donald Trump. He gets out, has the entire press pool to himself 3 hours before the State of the Union, comes out looking white as a ghost and says only that and walks away. You don't think this is a lot more serious than people are letting on? Dude looks like he saw a ghost. That was 3 hours for the State of the Union. That dude takes every opportunity to shit on Donald Trump and to make a joke of the administration every chance he gets in front of the press. And he has the entire press pool and he doesn't say shit. That's all he says.
Prime time.
Okay, wait.
Prime
Enzo, before
time.
you go, Gray, as the Democrat on the panel, are you now convinced because Chuck Schumer is saying we should go?
No, I'm not convinced. I don't feel like, I mean, if you look at the Democratic Party, people hate Chuck Schumer being the leader right now.
You're like, cool story. That's not going to convince
No,
even a Democrat.
I'm not saying to convince, but what I'm saying is I think this is a lot more serious than people are actually realizing, because Schumer is literally one of the people that no matter what the opportunity is, he will shit on Trump. And again, this was 3 hours for the State of the Union, had the entire press pool to himself, could have said whatever he wanted, could have taken every opportunity, and that's all he said. And he looked like he saw a dead person.
We should all speak up against war in unison.
No, because I wanted to comment on that. It's so stupid to say no war, no war, no war. Yeah, we can say that.
It's actually
but what no, it's not, because what happens when somebody who doesn't agree with you, a country that doesn't agree with you, comes over here and slaps you in the fucking face and takes your country? No war, right? Why don't we do things to prevent?
We are the biggest, baddest guys. Say what you will about Russia.
I know, and I love that, and I love that we're the biggest swinging dick in the world.
Baddest bully of
we are. We're the #1 country in the world for a reason.
Not for long.
Not for okay. Who's gonna overtake us?
Overtake what part? Are you talking about the
Who's
dollar?
gonna overtake us? Who's gonna overtake us in anything? In anything?
What are we #1 in? What are we
We're
number
one in everything. The biggest military. We're the superpower of the world. Our dollar backs 90% of the fucking countries in the world. Yes, our dollar is crashing right now. Yeah, it's been going down. It's been going down for years. It's been going down for years. And at least this administration actually has a plan to back it with something, as in the crypto reserve.
They've already
changed
their story about Iran like 4 times. They're scrambling. They just want to keep them.
I'm still waiting for a country that's going to overtake us.
War is profitable. That's why they want to go to war.
I'm aware.
But the problem with keeping U.S. hegemony is that we kill people. The price of right makes might is literal murder, and not
Get
just.
over it.
Okay, then it's a difference of morality.
That's fine, because hold on, your morality.
Enzo,
hold on,
I want you
your
to respond
morality.
to the clip. I
Your
don't want this to be
morality.
a debate.
I know it's not a debate.
I want you
but
to
I'm saying
respond.
your morality is we kill people. That's wrong, but it's gonna be okay when somebody else comes over here and kills us.
I didn't say that.
That's
but when they
that's
do
your
that,
lot. Hold on, Kim. I just wanted to
all
point that
say
out.
right now
That's
that
your
we have
that's
the
your
biggest,
logic.
strongest,
That's your logic,
military in the
though.
world.
That's
Do
your
we
logic.
not have
That's
the
what you're
biggest,
laying out.
strongest military in the world? Who's a
I'm
threat
sorry.
to us?
I was in
Do
the
we
middle
have
of
the
talking, so I
biggest,
just
strongest
popped out.
military in the world?
It's like I was speaking and you just wanted to start your sentence in the middle of mine.
Hold on, Kimberly.
I'm
Let
sorry,
him get to his point so we can.
Yeah,
we-
that's
I
the
don't want this to be a
logic that
debate.
you're laying out, that it's a problem that America kills people, but if somebody came over here, no war, no war, no war, this is why the hippies fucking lost in the 70s. The peace, all peace, all peace, all peace. No, that's never gonna fucking work. And you want to say that the United States, the biggest person, the biggest terrorist group in the world. All right, so let's look at history and let's look at regimes that are bigger, that killed more people. Let's
Okay.
do that. There's plenty out there that, I'm sorry. First off, the communist under Mao, that was 50 million. Then we could talk about under Stalin, that was another 30 million.
Yeah,
Then you could talk about Hitler, that was another 60 million. Then you could talk about all the regimes in the Middle East that have killed millions of people.
Hamas.
Yeah,
Who else
the United States is not even a tenth of what those are.
Who's going to
We'll
come
probably
attack
get
us?
into
I
the
thought you just said
billions.
that they're
We'll
not a
probably get
threat.
into the
There's 2 big
billions.
oceans between us. Who's going to attack us? Who's going to attack us?
I mean, under your worldview, if we don't have the safeguards that we have in the military that we have, somebody will come over here and do it.
You just said we have the biggest, strongest military in the world. Nobody's a threat.
Yeah, I'm saying under
far.
under your
Lamb
worldview.
Trap trying to say something.
Iran was literally in the when we hit Maduro. For the record, Iran was literally in the process of building out a $20 billion drone facility 600 miles off the coast of America. This was not just like a thing. Also, oh, by the way, they were also funding a Hezbollah basic training ground on Margarita Island off the coast of Venezuela.
Very true. I
What
can
else
tell
are
you
they
that I've
supposed to do?
insider knowledge
Israel?
on that. Very Lamb is right about that.
That like this
That's
isn't
what
like
that's what
this
you
is-
get when you go and instigate problems all over
It's
the
not
world.
about
And we shouldn't
instigating
talk about
problem.
Israel
They're
like if it's a
slowly
different country, it's
inching.
an extension of the United States.
They're slowly inching closer and closer. I
They've
would
been
be
saying
shocked.
that since 1996, the clean break strategy, 7 countries in 5 years. The last country on that list to destabilize and neutralize is Iran. It's a much bigger picture than that. It's not just analyzing threats and who might be our enemy or who might not be our enemy because we have 26 bases around Iran. Why the fuck do we have 26 bases around Iran? That's stupid. Why? Because it's profitable. Because the United States military makes a lot of fucking money.
Because the Middle East is never stable.
Weapons manufacturers.
The Middle East has never been stable. I mean, and also for all the anti-Israel people,
That's a good start. Why is the Middle East
for
not
all the
stable?
for all the anti-Israel people? Would you rather us, our ally, be I don't know, let's say the UAE, who by the way, on a regular fucking basis, bombs school buses full of children?
Okay, I know that.
There's not a single Middle Eastern country that has a moral fucking high ground.
Okay,
They
then so why
all
do we have
commit
friends over there? Why are we
atrocities.
friends with?
Because we have to have some kind of ally over there. We have to have some kind of
Why?
footing.
Why do we need an ally in the Middle East?
Because that's where a lot of the terrorism comes from.
Why is there terrorism in the Middle East? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Since the evolution of time, there has been problems in the Middle East. There's never been peace in the Middle East
Right,
ever
but-
since civilization has started. It's not because of a big bad America.
Yeah,
Well,
actually, it is
I
because
mean,
of Big Bang and British Empire as well.
You guys are both telling the truth, right?
Yeah, let
Like,
me speak, please.
we're
Yeah.
both like this is it's all true. All of it's true. We have contributed to the problems in the Middle East. Thus, we are perpetuating what's happening in the Middle East. Thus, we are forcing them to make allies and rise against us. It's all true. What Lamb Chop is saying is true. What Enzo is saying is true. What I'm saying is true. What Kimberly's saying is true. It is all issues from a systemic area that's coming from. I mean, it's not like anybody's lying. Everybody's telling the truth on this panel. We all just view it differently. But at the end of the day, as Enzo has said, they have always had problems in the Middle East. However, there's a difference between having tribal problems that they were having amongst themselves on a tribal basis to us going in there and destabilizing because we decided we wanted to give a plot of land to people that necessarily weren't there to begin with. All right. I mean, it is what it is. We're kind of stuck in this vicious cycle, but everybody on this panel is telling the truth about it.
Right. So, like,
it just
even
depends
with
on how
just-
you look at it.
When we look at if we look at just Iran, it is so sad what happened there because of the coup in 1953, because of the company that is now BP, then British Oil. They didn't want Iran to nationalize that oil. You always have to follow the money. When it comes to any time after World War II, the United States government goes around stealing wealth and resources from all over the world and concentrating it here. Not to us, not to the working class, not to the middle class, to the wealthy. They have havens of money that they have kept that we don't even fucking know of. The richest people in the world are not the richest people in the world that we know of. They don't even fucking announce it. There's people in Saudi Arabia that have much more money that they don't fucking report. There's a lot of people with a lot of money here, and we're just pawns. And I think that we really need to step back, not just when it comes to looking at it from a financial perspective, because it is fucking expensive, but also a moral perspective, because we end up killing Americans. We end up killing other people. And even if people are guilty, which I condemn all violence, I don't know how many times I have to say that, we should do it through the proper channels, hold people accountable, but they're not going to do that because it's more profitable to sell weapons.
I agree. Hold on. I absolutely agree that we should be holding these people accountable. Let's do that. Let's do sanctions. Let's get their let's get their dark
Sanctions
fleet.
are collective punishment for people. They're also deadly.
Then let's sanction all their richest people in their country.
How
Let's
about we
do what-
pull back
let's
all of our
do-
military bases from all over the world and look at diplomatic resources like China did in Africa?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happened
but
when that fails?
Yeah, exactly. Diplomatic only works. Look at the entire Venezuela situation. Again, we tried 14 times with Venezuela and they didn't want it. So you know what we did? We went in and we black bagged them.
I'm like really, really passionate about Venezuela. We can like put a pin on that one. But with Iran alone, the only reason why we have this regime right now is because of the 1979 revolution, because the monarchy that they installed, the Shah, was horrible.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, when we're trying to do this, and then the Ayatollah immediately gets on social media and puts out a video.
They've shown so much restraint when it comes to
really
Israel.
because I wouldn't say
yes, they have. Because when they've been attacked Israel, they let us know, and
I
they
don't
had zero
care about
casualties.
Israel. I don't care about Israel. What I'm saying is when we get out of these talks and the Ayatollah immediately goes on to social media and puts out videos of American draped fucking coffins and them beheading the president of the United States and making threats and all these things, that's not restraint. That is them poking the bear. And at some point we poke back.
Why do we have to take out the regime because of that? That's stupid.
Because their entire existence is to remove us.
Why do they hate us? They hate us because we're over there terrorizing their fucking.
I want to cut in real quick, Kim, because what nobody is mentioning is the military-industrial complex, and this is a part of the American economy. So I'm not agreeing with the right-wing people here, but the economy does have to sustain and is based on a lot of military operations. That's why every time with Congress, whether it's Democratic or Republican, you see them give more and more money to the military. So we are living in that economy where we get money from that. So they aren't really looking at that from a moral or empathetic standpoint. At some points, like you said, is financial. So if they stop expanding, like with Rome, is America going to collapse? Because we just had, what's it called, BRICS or whoever, where they were trying to get rid of the US dollar. So that's something that's already happened that we're worried about financially.
Greg brought up a good point about this being part of our economy. When they went in, they said, "You have no heart, bruh." Anyway, I'm gonna play this last clip, and then I'm gonna let Kamal and Mia have the last words.
The stupidest person in the world to think that the Jewish people who were on the land that got dispersed and came back to the land somehow just lost their DNA. What the are you talking about, fool?
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean, maybe it would be.
What do you mean? What it would prove who Abram's descendants are.
Every time these fake Christians and these Jew-hating nut jobs go to try to challenge the birthright and the promises that God made, they never use biblical scripture. Never. Have you ever seen Tucker use a scripture to validate anything he's saying? Never. Any of these other people, they go, I feel like it shouldn't be. God didn't do that. Where's your biblical scripture? I'm going to go right here in the Bible. Okay, we'll start with Genesis. I'm going to read this right from Genesis. It says Genesis 17, 7-8. God made an everlasting promise. I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you throughout the generations for an everlasting covenant to be God to you and your descendants after you. And I will, not just I'm going to be God to you and your descendants, and I will give you and to your descendants after you the land. It was prophesied to be that way. Isaiah 11:12. It adds to this. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exile of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judea from the four corners of the earth. Prophesied. Then we can go over here and I'll continue to write in. It says peer-reviewed genetic studies show that Jews from around the world, Ashkenazi, Sephardi, and also Mizrahi, I think I'm saying that wrong, share a common Middle Eastern ancestry. Research published in the Proceedings of the National Academic of Science and also American Journal of Human Genetics, both peer-reviewed journals confirm that Jewish populations cluster genetically closer to the modern-day Middle Eastern group, such as the Palestinians, the Druze, and the Bedouins, than their non-Jewish European neighbors. You can go and say the genetic signature supports the idea that Jews today do indeed descend from common ancestry population from the Levant, the very region the Bible describes as the homeland of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Peer-reviewed research have already been done, genetically proven, that you can look at the Jewish people in the land today.
So I played that clip, Kamal, because pretty much a lot of people are saying that this is tied with the Greater Israel Project. And that's what all of this is tied to. Half the people are saying it's because of the bombs and they bombing our bases. The other half are saying, no, hold up, stop. This is to help Israel. What is your thoughts on the clip? Bro could barely read.
I gotta say, I love the new party. Y'all need to like and subscribe because this is the only platform where us black folks can sit around and watch other groups argue amongst themselves. So it debunks what Sambos and Coons be saying, like Mr. Officer Tatum, that, man, black folk, we always arguing in front of other groups of people, man. Other groups don't do that. Other groups don't be arguing in front of people like that. Well, damn it, we have the new party. I appreciate all y'all on here. Officer Tatum, bro, you most definitely getting that money, man. Them Israel butter biscuits gotta be better than the Democratic butter biscuits. God damn. Shit, bro. He was out here. The Druze, they messing with Mazette Drew. We know he meant Jew, but they like, Mazette, my Jewish Zeddy, man. Y'all need to leave him alone. He printed out a Bible verse. God damn, he was serious. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, man. We know Officer Tatum is grifting. He like in the all-star category of grifting. You feel me? We got a couple other people up there, but we focusing on Officer Tatum, and man, them Israel butter biscuits must be good, man. Y'all think he getting 7K? I think he getting like 10K. He getting more than that. God damn. Whew. That's all I have to say about that. Love all y'all in the new party. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Kamal. Mia, what's your thoughts on the clip? Are you convinced? Have you changed your position after everything you've learned tonight? Should we go to war with Iran?
No, not unless we absolutely have to. I mean, and have to would be kind of like almost like a World War II situation. I feel better about it being more in defense than offense. Just from a fiscal standpoint, the simple fact as well that we are in the lowest birth rate crisis in the United States as well. So if we lose any of age men and women, we're never going to be able to replace them. And that's an ongoing issue in the United States as it stands. So between the financial and the fact that we can't even replace the humans that we have now here without looking at immigrants to replace our numbers, I mean, unless we absolutely have to, we shouldn't be doing it.
All right. Well, this was a great show, guys. Make sure that if you're watching, that you hit the subscribe button so you can know when we go live.
Kimberly, you have fulfilled
Kimberly,
your
you got some fans,
requirements.
man.
Me too, girl. I had 2 kids.
For every dumb Kimberly comment, you got 4 more that say Kimberly's the queen. Let her be the president. So because you getting all the likes of the night, let me let you go first.
Oh, thanks. Actually, I got a lot of.
You need a moment?
I got a lot of bad comments. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I've contributed to this country's growing population. I've had 2 kids, but if anybody else wants to give me more kids, if you're super rich, like super wealthy, I'm willing to have more, like very wealthy. And then I wrote notes down right here just so I can summarize. So I believe in denuclearization, not non-proliferation. I don't think that any country should have nuclear weapons, and I don't think that any country should allow or not allow other countries to have nuclear weapons. In fact, the biggest deterrent of the US fucking with you is to have a nuclear motherfucking weapon. And that's what we're showing other countries by fucking with them when they don't. So we leave North Korea alone. Why? Because they have nuclear motherfucking weapons. Also, clean break strategy. They've been trying to fulfill that since 1996. My homie, Benjamin Netanyahu, who's a literal fucking demon, he said, and is also, by the way, just to clarify, when I speak of Israel, I'm talking about like the conservative right-wing murderous Likud party and the like super crazy, same like with when I talk about the United States government, I'm talking about the crazy people, okay, not my Jewish friends. But yeah, Iran is the last country on that list of 7 countries that they want to destabilize for control. And the reason why they have or want control is not a religious argument, although that's how they've convinced or propagandized a lot of people to believe that they have some type of religious right to that land. But the prophecy of Jesus, I mean, Israel, was fulfilled when Jesus rose again. Also, any religious argument, if it has to do with colonialism or murder or war, is already lost. It's a lie because it's not a religion. The real reason why they want control in that region is because of the resources, like when we see with Iran, when they tried to nationalize the oil and they couped that country in 1953, which led to the 1979 revolution, hence the oppressive regime that they have here. I'm not defending the oppressive regime of Iran. I condemn them. I condemn violence. I condemn Hamas. I condemn, I don't know who else I need to condemn, communism. But yeah, the point is that when you look at it from, like I said, from like outside of American point of view, when you don't have this like inherently American indoctrinated point of view that we are the leaders of the world and everybody has to do what we say just because we fucking can. That's not what other people outside of the United States see. They see the biggest sponsor of terrorism, not just through might, but like I said, through economic sanctions, like we see with poor Cuba and Venezuela, et cetera, et cetera. We are the biggest, worst bully. We're creating our own problems. We're making Americans less safe. It's expensive and it's immoral. And my politics are the politics of Jesus. Also, really quick, because somebody asked if they thought Barron Trump would be deployed. I don't know if you guys like classic country rock, but one of my favorite bands is Creedence. And they wrote a song called Fortunate Son in response to, I forgot what senator's son that was able to draft that, dodge that draft. Also, a fun fact, so did Donald Trump. But listen to that song. It's really good. It's called Fortunate Son by Creedence. Love that song.
Thank you, Kim. Lamb, thank you so much for coming as our guest tonight. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. I definitely want to bring you back on. You gave me a new perspective tonight. No, seriously, I did not know that they were bombing our bases. So that is something to consider and think about. So thank you for sharing. And I look forward to having you on again about geopolitics. What's your closing thoughts?
I think this is a super serious issue. I think this plays into the China situation. I mean, listen, I really hope on Monday that when we come back to the table, a deal is signed. Unfortunately, I don't think Iran is budging on anything. I really don't see us being there more than 4 months. And if it is, I will eat my own words publicly and loudly. But yeah, like I think this is a serious issue, and I think it's a lot more serious than we're actually being told.
Two things can be true, my dear. It was great meeting you tonight.
Great
and I
meeting
hope
you
to work
too.
with you again. Thank you.
Of course, yes.
Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, at this point in time, hopefully we can avoid any sort of additional conflict. We financially can't sustain another war. And honestly, we don't even have enough bodies to sustain another war because eventually it all becomes boots on the ground regardless. Hopefully we can avoid that. If we have to go, then I guess we have to go, but hopefully we can avoid it. I'm more worried about Pete Hegseth getting access to Claude through the Domestic Production Act and utilizing mass surveillance and kill chains against humans. That's more concerning to me because now we're entering the Terminator era. I'm a little bit more worried about that.
Wow. Geez, Mia, you gotta you got it on a sad note. And so what's your closing thought?
So my closing thoughts are Hillary Clinton is Satan herself. I'm not suicidal. Yeah, if anything happens to me, y'all know why, because I'm talking about the devil herself. Whole Iran situation, it's just inevitable at this point. Something like I said, Donald Trump's not positioning troops for nothing. It's going to go down. I don't think it's going to be a drawn out war. I think it is going to be an aerial bombardment, and the regime there is just going to capitulate. And I don't think it's going to be regime change in the slightest. I think the people are going to take it back for what they want the country to be. Obviously, they're not happy under this administration, as well as them going after American troops and Americans in the region. I hope for diplomacy. I hope something happens one day, but this is the way I'm leaning with it. And if it turns into a long, drawn-out war, I'll eat my words too. I'll say it straight up. It is what it is. And one thing that I just news came out 30 minutes ago. Fuck the Epstein list. I want the Bohemian Grove list. And here we got it. Extensive list of over 2,000 alleged Bohemian Grove members leaked and per NPR. Yeah, that's what we really need to be talking about.
Send it to me. Send it. I want to see.
I got you.
Bohemian Grove are with Epstein.
Yeah, I know, but this has always been bigger to me. Is Bohemian Grove? Fuck.
There's
Epstein.
a lot more than Bohemian Grove. Shout out to Alex Jones.
Fucking nutcase.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, I don't even. Only reason I like Alex Jones is for his crash outs. That's it. Anything else? I think he's fucking retarded.
Are you going live after this?
Yes, I will be live after I take some Advil because I have a splitting headache.
Oh no, not a headache. Okay, well go check out Lamb and Enzo's live. Kamal, what's your closing thoughts, dear?
Y'all got me crying today, man. Y'all the funny ones today. God damn. Y'all cracking me up, man. I love the new party. Y'all know, hit that notification bell so you know when the new party go live. You feel me? Shout out to everybody on the panel. They got their own TikToks, they on Instagrams. Go follow everybody. Lamb Chop, shout out to you, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, you was talking Call of Duty ass shit. You were like kamikaze drones, black bagging motherfuckers. Shout out to you, man, for real, man. I did learn something new too, bro. I appreciate you for coming on. This was a great episode. I know I didn't talk much, but that's the point. You listen with your ears, not your mouth. Unless you Monica Lewinsky, then I guess you listen with your mouth because you hear everything coming. You get my drift. Hillary Clinton most definitely knew Bill Clinton was getting that sloppy top for Monica Lewinsky. We might need to send her back out there because Bill Clinton looking a little dead right now. He might need some life back to him. Epstein files. The first time, and I hate to say it because it's gonna sound like I'm like sounding like a coon, like Officer Tatum, but racism worked in our favor in that regards, if you get my drift. Also, do I want a war with Iran and shit? Nah, because I know people on the panel, they got kids that will be going to war if this happens. But I will say China, though, if they get out of line, we might have to slap them motherfuckers. Also, Tucker Carlson, I hate to say it, this is the first time, and I hope the only time that I agree with Paleface, Mr. Aha type of laugh. But he was right on the stance with the whole Israel thing and stuff like that. Yeah, I really don't have much else to say. The chat, y'all's funny as hell today, too. I will say I am surprised, and this is the record, y'all. This is the first time that we didn't see in the chat somebody say, oh, what about the blacks? Oh, what about you N-words? Oh, it's the first time ever, y'all. This is a milestone. I wish I had my sound effects today, but I came in late. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, hit that notification bell so y'all know when the new party go live. And if y'all want to come over to my network, Kamal Johnson Network on YouTube, hit your bird with a sub. Also hit that notification bell. I appreciate y'all. This is what the new party is for. All types of views and shit.
Yes. Gray, what's your closing thoughts?
So you were right. Breaking news, top Middle East commander briefs Trump Navy Admiral Brad Cooper and General Dane Kane. And what they're saying is it's possible that Trump and Republicans may be trying to do this to cover a tough election year. So they may be trying to push this, but they're saying that they're going to work with Israel and it'd be a joint operation, but they're expecting Israel to do the first attack. And then that's the way that they plan on doing it, according to the news that just broke. So it literally just broke. So as you see on the New Party, we bring you breaking news and everything else. Like we always say on New Party, always vote.
Yeah, always vote. Okay, guys. Well, Lamb Chop Coming taught me something, and this is what it's about, guys. It's about having conversation and learning together. Just because you have an opinion at the end of the New Party episode, you may change your position. You may have learned something new to take into consideration that you did not know. But my decision remains the same. Tonight, as tensions rise with Iran, we need to take a breath and think clearly about what war would actually mean. Are we comfortable with sending our young men and boys over there? If the answer is yes, okay. But a war with Iran would not be quick. It's not going to be clean, and it would not stay contained, guys. Iran has regional allies and asymmetric capabilities, from missiles to cyber warfare, that could ignite multiple fronts across the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz carries a major share of the world's oil. Even limited conflict could spike gas prices overnight. We was happy we finally got gas under $3, y'all. I'm telling you, what I've been hearing is going to go double if we go to war with, and the Strait of Hormuz is cut off. It's going to hit our pockets. It's going to hit us financially, and we're already dealing with economic pressure. Do we really want to pour gasoline on that fire, guys? History has shown us that regime change wars and prolonged conflicts often cost trillions, with a T, thousands of lives, with a T, and years of instability with no clear victory. And sometimes external attacks strengthen hardliners instead of weakening them. Strength isn't about firepower. It's about strategy, restraint, and knowing when diplomacy serves the greater interest other than destruction. I do believe Trump wants diplomacy. Let me be clear. I do believe he does, but I believe he's being pushed by one particular country. I'm going to just leave it at that. That's what I think. God bless. Good night. Stay safe. And please subscribe.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the New Party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.